because the facts that you're about to see will more than speak for themselves. But in an ever-shifting, ever-changing world, there really is one true and sure plumb line that we can invariably trust to guide us and give us the real story, to give us the sure truth, and that's the Bible. So we're going to use the truths written in the Bible as a guideline to help sift through what is true and what is false as it relates to music. Which leads me to say something that we often remind you of in these word picture programs. If we are going to use the Bible as our guideline of truth versus error, right versus wrong, you'll obviously need to accept the fact that the Bible is truly reliable, that it is truly a book inspired and therefore essentially written by God, and that God does spell out truth and error, right and wrong in the Bible for our instruction and protection. So if you have any doubts in the reality of that statement, call the number on the screen, and we'll send you more than enough information to confirm that that is the clear, plain truth. But I assure you, even for the hard-hearted skeptic of the Bible, the facts in this program will testify to their own conscience about what is right and what is wrong. But the point is this: the Bible speaks plainly of a struggle between good and evil for your heart and your mind, and ultimately your soul. In fact, in Ephesians chapter 6, the Bible calls that struggle a battle, an outright war. And not unlike those KGB agents from the former Soviet Union, that battle is first waged by sending a message of propaganda out to the people over and over again. A message that shocks, at first, those who have not ever been exposed to it. But over time, slowly, gradually, it demoralizes. And the message gains acceptance, even passionate support. Let me give you an example. Think back to the very first time Elvis Presley moved his hips on the Ed Sullivan Show over 40 years ago. What was the response? Shock, horror, disbelief. In fact, the country's values and morals were so unready for that message that Presley couldn't even be filmed from the waistline down. Now, flash forward 50 years. What is acceptable on MTV today? Many of the videos are nothing short of pornography. But of course, some of you may be saying right now, "Oh, come on, this isn't some satanic plot. Lighten up. People were just stuffier back then." The real problem is, they just didn't know how to be hip or cool or how to have a good time. Well, sit back and fasten your seatbelts, because what you're about to see will change the way you think about rock, country, and pop music forever.
The Church of Satan has declared a total war on...
Satanist Rex Church admits that Satanists are using music as a weapon of propaganda to influence youth around the world against Christ in order to establish the Antichrist kingdom on earth. Sadly, hundreds of millions of people of all ages, but especially young people, have fallen prey to Satan's seduction through music.
Satan represents the powers of force in nature, and we feel that a cleansing of the idiot ideology of the pallid, incompetent Christ is in order. And so this is something that the Church of Satan is conducting on many different avenues. We're doing this through the use of what we have called aesthetic terrorism. This involves the creative use of art, music, writing, effectively what we call propaganda, the dissemination of information to influence what we call iron youth.
Anton LaVey, the founder of the Church of Satan, corresponded with many different rock stars through his lifetime. He was the author of the Satanic Bible and the founder of the Church of Satan, declared, "Today's satanic bands are the vehicle of choice for millions of young people. If they encourage a study of real Satanism, I'm all for them." LaVey, who claims that, quote, "Satan has always had the best tunes," also has admitted the following, quote, "Music can inspire people to murder or violence, can inspire them to shoot a mall full of people." Brian Warner, who combined the name of glamour queen Marilyn Monroe with the name of serial killer Charles Manson, come up with his new name, Marilyn Manson, is seen here with Anton LaVey. Marilyn Manson admitted that Anton LaVey told me, quote, "I want to make you a reverend," and gave me a crimson card certifying me as a minister in the Church of Satan. Marilyn Manson wrote that he understood that Anton LaVey, the leader of the Church of Satan, was handing his torch over to Manson. Anton LaVey admitted that, quote, "We, speaking of the Church of Satan, have had contact with a lot of people over the years. He went on to say that, quote, David Lee Roth, who was formerly of Van Halen, recorded an album named Yankee Rose, which are the last words in the Satanic Bible.
The rainforest, the forest gone, the bloody naked in the compound. The real deal all the face. Gone 52 states.
The evil influence that musicians so powerfully wield over their millions of fans is undeniable, and many of them even glory in it.
They take it quite seriously. I look into the faces of our fans, and I see that they've been touched by the Dark Carnival the same way that I've been.
We didn't do nothing. We're just serial killers. Sure, we got a little problem with necrophilia. I admit it, but you came to us first, right? Just keep this in mind. They're playing our CDs when you're not home. They're playing my tapes in your own car, in the tape deck. And I'm influencing your children.
That's why, I become a musician, so I can do it and have an excuse.
Antichrist Perry Farrell, formerly with Jane's Addiction, who were once Spin Magazine's Band of the Year, not only glorifies evil but blasphemes Christ. He said this, "To the mosquitoes, or parents, we have more influence over your children than you do." Tori Amos, who also blasphemes Jesus Christ and sings songs like Father Lucifer, said, "Music is the most powerful medium in the world. You're hitting places in people."
Look at this. You're just amazed by the power of it. And I was also aware that you could just say, kill, and, just somehow this surge would happen.
Music works in mysterious ways, and once it goes in, you have really no say about what it does to you.
Yes, I do smoke herb. I mean, you done heard it all on my records, of course. Yeah, I'm a weed smoker.
Rap artist Method Man, who MTV shows promoting both drugs and alcohol abuse, points out that their fans view them as teachers.
People look at us like they look at school teachers, you know that? People look at us like they look at school teachers, you know that?
Like a mudslide, when I get
The Beastie Boys, whose music glorified drugs, violence, and sexual perversion, recognized the harmful effect that they were having on their fans. Adam Yauch of the Beastie Boys declared that their lyrics ended up having a lot of really negative effects on people. When you're creating music, it has a tremendous influence on society.
More to Rage's music than meets the ear.
We are able to seduce some people in with the music who then are exposed to a different political message.
Satan's rock and roll subversion actually began in the 1950s and 60s as Satan used music to brainwash generations of youth. One member of Jefferson Airplane, who became Jefferson Starship, declared, quote, "Our music is intended to broaden the generation gap and to alienate children from their parents." Spencer Dryden of Jefferson Starship said, "Get them while they're young and bend their minds." Paul Cantor of the Starship said that they were out to, quote, "change one set of values to another," and that this included so-called free minds, free dope, and free bodies or sex. Jim Morrison, who also claimed that he was possessed by a spirit, asserted, quote, "Whoever controls the media controls the mind. The media is the message, and the message is me."
music is your special friend. Dance on fires, it intense.
Jimi Hendrix, as we shall see later, admitted that he was demon-possessed and his music just came through him. Hendrix used his music to help indoctrinate a generation into New Age occultism in preparation for the kingdom of Antichrist. The evil spirit that possessed Hendrix hypnotized audiences and used his music as a subversive tool for youth brainwashing. Jimi Hendrix admitted to Life magazine, quote, "I can explain everything better through music. You hypnotize people, and when you get people at their weakest point, you can preach into their subconscious is what we want to say." John Lennon said, "I was completely hypnotized. The real Pied Piper was rock and roll. When I first heard it, I dropped everything else." Lennon said the way he got his political message across that wasn't accepted at first was by dipping it in honey through the music of Imagine. Drug guru Timothy Leary, who admitted that he was being used as an agent to complete the mission of Satanist Aleister Crowley in ushering the new eon of Antichrist, recognized the place of rock and roll and youth brainwashing in the subversive power of music.
I would urge everyone